Welcome back to another video, peeps. My name's Eddie. This is Eddie-tainment, and today we're sitting down with Anthony to talk about the pros and cons of Halloween Horror Nights.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Nights of Horror Anthony, and I'm sitting down with Eddie-tainment talking about pros and cons of HHN, Orlando, and Hollywood. So, let's get right to it. I'm very jealous of your guys' event every year because you guys get both original properties and IP properties. And one of the things that us Hollywood guys out here are always jealous of is the fact that you guys get icons a lot. What I want to know from your experiences as HHN is how awesome is that to experience?
Well, I gotta say, I'm a huge lover of the icon era, and it's kind of died off. They don't do it as often, but it was a great experience. Jack sticks out a lot to me. The Caretaker was actually the first year I ever went, and the backstory building that they do for those characters is amazing. And then getting there to experience, like, this is the person who's basically terrifying you this year is really cool.
Yeah, that sounds like it's always fun, because I think the closest we've gotten to an icon over here in Hollywood would have been when we had the Eli Roth Tear Tram. And I forget what that clown's name was, but it was such an awesome experience that it kind of gave us hope, like, are we going to finally get an icon? Are we finally going to get someone to run our event? Someone who's kind of like the ringleader of this whole thing. And that's what I've always loved about HHN Orlando is in the past they've had Caretaker, the Storyteller, Jack the Clown, all those fantastic icons, and it's just like now it's any day that it can happen over here if they finally open up that door,
Yeah, we've had some icons that have failed too, like Fear himself.
Yeah.
Wasn't too loved. Chance, although I think she was pretty good, not everybody loved as well. But yeah, just the idea of an icon and just some like an actual figure that the event revolves around is always pretty cool. I mean, there's been other years where it's just revolving around an idea, but having an individual is always a really cool idea.
Yeah. And I want to touch on something that got related to Horror Nights, and it got announced actually recently, or should I say leaked. We got Halloween 4 and Poltergeist,
Yes.
I think, coming to the event. And it's funny because I watched the league's video today, and the way they broke it down was just so perfect that maybe they were supposed to announce something at Midsummer Scream.
Yep.
And something happened where Universal was like, no, we can't announce it right now, but, give them something. Maybe that's why we got the supposable leak of the Trick or Treat Scare Zone for Hollywood. But, so I guess they were supposed to probably announce those two properties, but something, like I said, Universal, like the leak said, Universal probably pulled the plug on that real quick, and they already had the advertising set up it looked like at a hotel for Orlando.
Yeah.
Just to inform people, like, this is what's coming in the next couple of months. You can buy your tickets for this now. And it was advertising Halloween 4, Stranger Things, and Poltergeist.
Yep. And from my understanding, it was a Marriott hotel. And I didn't even think about it, but the league did break it down really well. There was a couple things that they missed out on, like the fact that the advertisement actually says Orlando on the top. So the leak doesn't seem like it's a Hollywood leak.
Yeah.
And I think that's because you guys are getting the Blumhouse house. You're not probably getting Halloween. But I didn't think about that. And then once they broke it down and basically said there was probably the plug was pulled and somebody forgot to call like a certain hotel, which was probably Marriott, and the Marriott went ahead and released it as they were supposed to.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of freaking sense.
Yeah. I would say out of all of them, that probably makes the most sense. It's just a simple line of miscommunication between the park and the hotel. It's an honest mistake. Someone forgot to call. Maybe, like I said, it was scheduled to maybe release after Midsummer Scream. So, like, starting in August, they could start advertising and stuff like that. I will say this, though. I think we are getting Halloween 4 because I want to say the Waterworld Q, SoCal Exploring, he did a video speculating that Halloween 4 is coming to the event. And in the Waterworld queue, and one of the construction updates I've seen, there's a scene much like Halloween 4, where there's like an electricity scene. They're like at this like sort of like a big power kind of station and stuff like that. And I guess he saw something like that being built inside the maze, or what it looked to be like that. So maybe we're getting Halloween 4, but the big question arises is why aren't we getting Halloween 2018 rather than Halloween 4? Since in Halloween 4, Laurie Strode is supposed to be dead, and they're kind of scrapping everything after 2, you know? So it's like, was it a thing between Blumhouse and Universal, Universal and John Carpenter? Did they not want to make this a maze for spoiler purposes? Who knows?
Yeah, I think it may be some of that, you know, the spoiler purposes and whatnot. I thought that it would have been cool if they would have done what's it called, just the first Halloween house, and then at the end kind of had like a little preview, like go check this out in theaters.
Yeah,
part
like
2.
setup. Yeah.
Part 2. But I don't know. I guess I haven't gone back and actually look at the timeline year by year. Mm-hmm. But another thing could be, and this is just an idea, and I could be completely wrong if we go back and look at the timeline, is maybe the first couple Halloweens are in like the late 70s, and Halloween 4 is in the early 80s.
Yeah. That
then,
probably makes a little bit more sense, because in the Halloween 4, Loomis is a little bit older.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
following the like whole 80s thing. So
yeah, and that makes a lot of sense for your guys' event, especially because it looks like your guys' event this year is focusing a lot on the 80s.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, 100%.
And that also goes, I think, with I think Poltergeist was early 90s, late 80s, I believe. The first one, the original. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So
I believe it's the 80s. Everybody's been talking about the Poltergeist coming to the event, and even I wasn't too in the loop about that, but everybody's been talking about it coming to the event because it was an 80s themed movie, apparently.
Yeah. So you guys basically got almost all your properties, or if not all your properties, announced already then, right?
No, not even.
After this leak, how many... Okay, so, like, say this leak is true, which I think it is because Hotel put it out. That's Halloween 4 and Poltergeist added to your guys' list. How many more mazes after that do you guys need?
3.
3 more?
That would be 7.
So that means the 7... You guys are getting 7 mazes total? Or how many mazes total are you guys getting? Like 10?
We're getting 10 total, but if those 2 are correct, then we would have 7. We only have 5 currently announced, so okay. This would be 7.
So, out of the 7, how many are they? So they announced all the original ones already. All the
correct.
Originals are done.
No. So they haven't said that all the originals are announced. The only thing that's completely announced is Scare Zones.
Scare Zones, okay.
Yeah.
So what do they usually do? Do they do 5 IPs, 5 originals, or?
So it's a mix. I believe predominantly we've had more IPs than originals.
Okay.
But this year seems to be leaning towards more originals because more originals have already been announced.
Yeah. And that's another thing I love about your guys' event is because you guys have such creative originals, and it was an absolute honor to hear Mike Aiello talk at Midsummer Screen. That guy is such a cool guy, down-to-earth guy, and to hear him talk, I mean, you can even hear him when he was talking on the panel, like how excited he was just to be there. And not only is he the creative person over there in Orlando, but he's also a fan too. So which makes the experience even better for you guys because, I mean, I'm not saying Murdy's not a fan. I'm just saying like the way Mike was expressing himself on stage, it was like, oh my God, this guy's such a fanboy. He's just like all of us. And it's just like, you get to feel that when you feel that kind of energy from your creative director, you kind of like, damn, then that means our event might be actually really good then, you know? And it's like, I just think he was a really cool guy. I didn't get to meet him, sadly, but just to see him on the panel, it was cool. Another thing that was cool on that panel is they actually chose one of my tweets for the event, which was awesome.
Oh, man, I missed that.
Yeah, I put it on Twitter, but
okay.
So, like, I guess Murdy, like, a month or two before the actual event, he goes, tweet me your questions. I'm going to include some of the questions into the panel. So, I didn't think I was going to make it. So, I was like, yeah, I'll tweet one. If I do make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
I ended up making it. My question was, how often or how hard is it to collab between both parks, and how often do you guys have to meet with each other to talk about the IPs and stuff? And they went into detail and talking about that and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. One of the coolest things is right when that question went up on the board, we were sitting on one side, and literally right across was the league, and they literally looked back at me and they kind of give me the thumbs up. So that was really cool. So
Nice.
but yeah. So Halloween 4 and Poltergeist, I want to say are for sure coming to the event. It's going to probably be within the next week or two that they probably announce either one of the properties or two of them. Scare LA, another horror convention, is coming around the corner in about the end of August too. And that should be pretty fun. I guess Murdy and Chris Williams over here in Hollywood are going to have another panel. No word if they're going to announce anything yet, but I want to say they are, because we're literally in the end game now, where the month is literally a month. The event's literally a month and a half away.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. They don't have much time, and since the leaks aren't official, we technically still have 5 houses to go, which doesn't leave much time to actually give them a backstory if necessary. So I'm really hoping that they get the ball rolling and do it well.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Mike really wants to announce those last 5. It's just a matter on Murdy, because over here, I don't know how strict they are with announcing, and if it has something to do with legal issues or and stuff like that. The reason why I bring up legal issues is because last year we were supposed to get a Conjuring Universe maze, and at the very last minute they had to switch it to Titans of Terror.
Yeah, the WB came in and said, no, we're doing that next year.
No, yeah. Speaking of that, I already got my tickets for that. I'm very excited for that. I'm actually, right now, Dark Harbor and Horror Made Here are the 2 events I'm looking forward to the most right now, until Horror Nights starts announcing more stuff.
Yeah, the Horror Made Here event sounds ridiculous, and I'm kind of upset, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, more competition raises the bar.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they take that global, the Horror Made Here. I mean, I don't think they will, but it'd be really cool if they took it like where you guys are, maybe rent out like a lot or something, and just bring all the experiences over there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think what makes it a little bit different from others, though, is because I was reading more up on it. It's supposed to be, in the panel from what we heard, it's going to be a private... there's not very many tickets available, so you got to buy your tickets, and whoever gets to get on gets to get in. That's pretty cool, and I think it's cool that it's taking place on the lot. And so it's just explaining it from what you're going to be able to do, where a lot of the things are, was just so cool. Like they have I went on the tour literally the day before, so everything they were talking about location-wise, I knew where everything was. So they're going to do a Freddy versus Jason kind of walkthrough, and they have like a cool, Crab Crystal Lake vibe set there. Where, yeah, they have like what's called their jungle area. So it's like they have like a wooden cabin there that would fit perfect for a counselor's cabin. You go down the road a little bit, it's all trees and stuff, but then there's like it's like a lake you can fill up with water, so easily that's Jason right there. There's a little greenhouse and a house right there, so you can incorporate Freddy in there. So that's really cool. The thing that stole the show for me, though, was the Joker maze. I'm a huge Batman fan, and to be able to actually finally walk through Arkham Asylum, I'm just hella, as both a horror fan and a geek, I'm excited.
Yeah, no. I mean, trust me, I'm on the East Coast, and I'm like, damn, if only I could go to that event, and mostly this year with all the announcements that they've had. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'll take the L this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a reoccurring event each year. It's going to get bigger and bigger as it goes. Apparently, they did one last year, and I didn't even know about it. Like, because they were talking about, we did the Conjuring last year and everything. I was like, I remember you guys did an Ebolt House. I don't remember the Conjuring or anything. So, hopefully, this is going to become a bigger thing as it goes on. The lineup this year just sounds incredible, though. So, I'm really excited for that. Me and my cousin, we were sitting in the panel, and they showed one long trailer for all the announcements, and they were just announcing them back to back to back, like, and we were just looking at each other like, what the hell? They're just announcing everything right there. So it was like, I was like, Horror Nights, you need to do your homework, and this is how you do an announcement right here. So
well, Horror Nights likes to tease you, and these guys are trying to make a name for themselves, so they're not wasting any time.
No, yeah. So and that ultimately comes back to when you guys are getting Killer Clowns, because that is probably my all-time favorite horror movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And just seeing some of the sculpts, I sent you some pictures. Just seeing some of the sculpts that they're gonna do for the masks and everything, I was just like,
Yeah.
I was mind blown because I was like, damn, I'm so jealous, man. I was hoping that the announcement that we got for the one IP Scare Zone was gonna be Killer Clowns, and it was Trick or Treat, and I was kind of mad about that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I was kind of disappointed just in general, but I guess it is what it is. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
we still got a ways to go.
But I don't know if have you watched Killer Clowns since the announcement?
Oh yeah, immediately after the announcement, that's part of like my rituals, my traditions.
Yeah. Yeah. See, me and my cousin do a similar thing. We'll wait about like the month of, and then we'll just start watching everything one by one. This year, I guess
Yep.
we're gonna have to watch the first season of Stranger Things again, which I don't mind doing. I like that show. There's a couple Trick or Treat. Hopefully, the first Purge will be out in digital by then, but I don't think it will.
Yeah.
So, so that's another thing I want to talk about. I want to shift over to Hollywood now. We are getting the first Purge, and you guys are probably lucked out on that one.
Yeah. So we've had a purge scare zone for like the past God knows how long, which honestly is one of the better parts of the event. Not that the event doesn't have better parts, that came out wrong, but just in general, the purge scare zone is awesome. It's so like immersive. Like they actually have people driving around in like motorcycles and what's it called, moving trucks, where like
Yeah.
they open the back bed and people come in and abduct people that are in the crowd, actors that are like just walking around in the crowd. So the Purge as a scare zone, I could do for another couple years, but as a maze, I'm glad that we didn't get it.
So yeah, your guys' Purge scare zone looks so cool. I've seen videos of the truck coming out. They do a little
Yeah.
they do like a little show where they execute someone and stuff like that, and that's just so cool. I think that's awesome. I think if we had the room for it over in Hollywood, because Hollywood, it's interesting how Hollywood's park is made. So the main park when you enter is on top of a hill. So
Yeah.
when you go down is actually when you go to the lower lot, and that's about ground level. So I don't think, especially room wise too, we don't have. It's very kind of a narrow kind of area, so we don't have room to do stuff like that, which I wish they would. But I just that's one of the things that I'm hoping that if I ever go to Orlando is to check out if they hopefully keep it around as the Purge Scare Zone. And I think they will, because I think one of the major advertisements for this first Purge, at least in Hollywood, is they're probably going to constantly keep advertising the TV show, which is supposed to be
Yeah.
premiering this fall. And I finally got more details as to how that's going to work out as a TV show. So it's going to take place, the TV show, The Purge, is going to take place in one night, the entire series, but each character you're going to keep seeing flashbacks.
Gotcha.
So I can see how they can incorporate that to the event if they ever wanted to. I don't know about a maze, though. I've never just thought of the Purge as a maze, though. I've always thought of it as a scare zone.
Yeah, but it's officially not coming back to Halloween Hornets this year. So, I mean, at least not Orlando as a scare zone. All the scare zones have been announced. So if it gets announced as a maze, I doubt it. But if it does, that's the only way right now that it could come to Orlando.
Unless you guys probably get a Horrors of Blumhouse 2, which I think you guys probably will if you guys have 5 announcements left. Because I know over in Hollywood, one of our facades is literally the same. It looks the same as last year's Horrors of Blumhouse
Yeah,
for the movie theater. So you guys might be getting that. And that's what also I want to talk about, too. Since we are not getting Halloween 2018 as a full-on maze, you think it will be incorporated in Horrors of Blumhouse 2?
for you guys, I think so. But that's Halloween coming to Orlando is one of the reasons why I don't think we'll get Blumhouse, the Horrors of Blumhouse. I feel like you guys already have a pretty obvious presence that it's coming from the construction. We don't. For Poltergeist, both Poltergeist and Horrors of Blumhouse, we have nothing that resembles those two at the moment. So I think they were kind of like in between. I think Horrors of Blumhouse would have been like a backup plan for us if we weren't able to do Halloween. But now, if Halloween is coming, which still not 100%. If it is coming, I think they may decide something else.
Yeah. And that's just kind of my whole thing is like, back to Halloween 4, it's just interesting how they chose Halloween 4 out of all of them. I mean, they've done in the past 1 through 3, and I didn't have a problem with it. I don't, it's Michael Myers, so either way, I'm gonna like it. But it's just after Halloween, after Halloween 3, everything just kind of went everywhere. So it's like the timelines were all, there's a 4 through 6 timeline, then the H2O timeline, then the 1 and 2 timeline, and then I finally found out why they did 3 the way they did it is because John Carpenter originally intended for Halloween to be an anthology series. So it only wasn't going to be about Michael Myers. It was going to be about, like, each movie was going to be a different Halloween story.
Gotcha.
So, but Michael Myers just blew up as a character, so they did a whole franchise with him. So
yeah, I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah, Michael Myers is awesome. So very much looking forward to that. You want to throw out any speculations you think might be coming to the event?
So as far as like what I'm speculating from what's left, I have a strong feeling that we still probably have 2 to 3 originals coming out of what's left. I'm gonna stick with some of the speculation that's out there at the moment, which is obviously Halloween and Poltergeist. But on top of that, I mean, the Warner Brothers event is a West Coast event, so we still have the opportunity of bringing over a Jason or a Freddy property. Given that they do have 80s themed movies that came out, it would fit perfectly.
Yeah. I think for me, speculation wise, one of the obvious ones, a lot of people have been speculating, at least over here on the West Coast, and you guys honestly might get it on the East Coast. I have no idea, but one of the obvious choices, since we've been seeing the facade a lot lately and it's pretty much done, is classic Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
That's definitely due for a comeback because about a couple years ago we had a thing called the House of Horrors, and that was a full day attraction, and it was a year round attraction. It was basically what our Walking Dead walkthrough attraction is today. And that was a cool thing. It was a 2-story thing, but it was all the classic monsters, the famous icons of Universal history, and that was just cool to walk through. And when that left, that was kind of a disappointment. So for them to actually maybe I think it's been about 5 years now since that thing's left, or a couple years, about 4 or 5 years now, and for it to maybe make a comeback, maybe in a scarier version, make the monsters a little bit more scarier and stuff like that. Because one of the things Murdy has said is doing a classic monsters maze is probably one of the hardest things to do because those classic monsters are not really that scary, and you have to give it that feeling of how do we make them scarier.
Yeah.
So
scary again.
Yeah, scary again. I mean, they were probably scary when they first came out in the 30s and stuff. I mean, that was a whole. We look at it now though, and we just look at it as legendary films, and
of course,
they're just iconic for being what they are. We know, of course, we're going to see all the strings and all the cheesiness, but that's what makes those movies for us, and that's what makes them iconic, and we're not really scared of them because these are iconic characters that we just, one line, respect them.
Yeah.
Compared to today's horror where it's all, we're going to try to scare the shit out of you, and that's what they're going for. Heart attack, basically, so.
Yeah. That was a house that I had on my first, speculation video for this year. But we've heard less and less about it, and it really hasn't been in any further speculation. I don't know if you've seen, but there's maps out there with basically the completed lineup or a speculated completed lineup, and that's not on it, at least not for Orlando.
I'm going to say it is for Hollywood because I don't know if you've seen a picture of the facade in the courtyard area, in our courtyard area, but it's what it is. It's like a tower of some sort, but it's got it's all black. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
The rocks, and it's got a giant electrical thing for Frankenstein of some sort. So I have faith for that one, and I really think if they announce that in the next couple weeks or at Scare LA, I'm gonna try to go to Scare LA. I just got denied media for it, so I'm gonna just have to buy a ticket and go as a fan now. But I'm gonna try to go to Scare LA. Hopefully, my birthday is right around the corner, so I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, Scare LA tickets." Boom.
Bam. There you go.
Yeah. Let's get to the final segment of this video, because ultimately this video we just wanted to talk about. It's rare that you get a video where you get to hear both East Coast and West Coast opinions, And the fact that me and you get to collaborate on that is awesome, and just to give an input of both fans' perspectives, mindsets going into each event, what they feel about the other event. I always found that was interesting. I like to hear people's opinions about stuff and all that. So let's get into the pros and cons list of both events. We'll start off with, of course, Orlando. Since how long have you been going to the Orlando event for starters?
A really long time. So I think the caretaker was the 13th year.
Okay.
So we're going on the 28th year.
Oh, nice. So you've been going for a while.
Yeah, in between there, I probably missed a few of the events, but for the past 4 years, I've gone every single year, and this will be my 5th year straight. And then before that, I probably went like another 5 years scattered about.
Yeah. Let me turn on this AC. My computer's acting all, looks like it sounds like it's overheating. All right. Sorry for the little noise interruption, by the way. But it's getting really hot in here. I'm in a garage, so. But okay, so when we talk about pros and cons about these events, obviously West Coast has opinions about East Coast. East Coast has opinions about West Coast. They like some stuff, they hate some stuff, jealous of some stuff, not so jealous of some stuff. I've been going to the Hollywood event since 2011. That was the first year I ever went. I think I was in 8th grade. And I had a blast, and ever since then, I've been going every year. So I've been going about 7-8 years now. So let's just start some pros and cons with Orlando's event. So I'm going to go for a pro on your guys' is that the fact that for a while you guys had icons, and that over here made us jealous. Because we've always wanted an icon to take over our event, and seeing the advertisement for over there, the icon list that they've had in the past was so awesome. So that's pro number 1 for me.
You want me to throw out a pro?
Draw out a pro because I can't really think of any cons for your guys' this thing, really. Okay. I can think of a lot of cons for us, but I can't think of any cons for you guys.
So a pro that I have for you guys is the fact that your guys' social media is handled so directly by the creative. I don't know who actually handles our social media on our end, and it's not nearly as active as your social media is.
I think Mike was saying that he's got his personal account, but I think he handles some of that Twitter account because they were making a joke about the different whose Twitter accounts who. So HHN at Hornites is ours in Hollywood, and at HHN or Hornites or ORL is Orlando's. So that was a funny joke, but. Yeah, I mean, Murdy is he's very active with the Twitterverse, and that's always cool. I literally asked him a question. He follows me on Twitter, so that's a fun thing. We got lucky a while back. He used to do this thing where if you asked a question, he answered your question, he would follow you. So that was cool. And I asked him a question recently because I guess he's in LA for like 2 weeks, and I go, "How long are you going to be in LA for?" And he's like, "I'm going to be here for 2 weeks." Here's another breaking news. He accidentally announced another scare zone answering a question.
Oh, did he? Another one?
Yeah, so it's called like I guess one of the fans asked if there's going to be any chainsaws at the event this year, in which he responded, "Yeah, there's one called like it's something from hell or something like that." And I guess it's another scare zone. I don't think no one caught on it immediately, but I did, and I immediately retweeted. I was like, "New scare zone confirmed." And then after that, like so many people started blowing up his feed.
Interesting.
So, another accidental leak, I guess, but I think he's just trying to get fed up with holding off on announcements. He's just like, I gotta announce these already. Like it's eating.
Yeah.
So another pro for you guys is you get a lot of original mazes, which I like a lot. From the times I've gone over here in Hollywood, since I've been going, we've only got about 3 original mazes.
Interesting.
At least since I've gone.
Yeah, see, I actually got into like the YouTube stuff. I didn't understand how big of a difference there was between both of our events.
Yeah.
But I'll hit you with another pro for your event. You guys actually have movie sets that the houses can be built around.
Yeah.
You guys have War of the Worlds and things like that are iconic in themselves, and then you're building an iconic event around it.
Yeah. The Terror Tram, that's always fun to do because you get to walk on the Whoville set, the iconic Psycho set, and then the iconic War of the Worlds set, which some cases the Terror Tram goes perfect with it. A perfect example was last year. They turned the Psycho set, it was Titans of Terror Tram, so they turned the Psycho set with all the camp counselors from Jason were staying in the hotel for like the weekend, and Jason comes and starts killing all of them. From the transition from the Psycho set to the War of the Worlds, there's like a little kind of like foresty type vibe area, so that's easily like, you know, they can put tents there and have Jason walk around and stuff like that. And then you transition into the War of the Worlds set, but in between the War of the Worlds set and the Norman Bates house was Sawyer Meets for Leatherface, so you have him just kind of doing that, and then you transition into a Nightmare, which is the War of the Worlds set, and it's a bunch of Freddy Kruegers just walking around, and it went perfect with the Freddy Krueger type aspect, so I was like, yeah, that works out good. Some Terror Trams work out with it, some, you know, it's just there for fun, so. I would have to say another pro for you guys is you guys got way more space over there than we do.
Yeah, you guys don't have as many sound stages, do you?
No, and our park is way smaller. You guys got the advantage of having two parks, if ever the case. Do you guys use both parks for the event or no?
They have once.
So
and once.
If ever the case they wanted to use both parks, they have the opportunity for most space, which is cool.
Yeah, because both parks connect.
Yeah,
like they can connect. They don't connect on a regular, but they have pathways where employees and actors go in between.
Okay, yeah. So see that's really cool. Us, we're stuck with one park, and we have so much space. And being that ours is a working studio, they can only get so many places available for the mazes. We are lucky. The last time we had a soundstage for a maze was back in Alien vs. Predator, and that was, I think, in 2015. And that was the last time we used a sound studio for a maze, which I think is personally better because you can control environments, lighting, all that fun stuff. And this year, I'm very thankful and very happy that they're going to do it for Stranger Things because, as you know, with the Upside Down, you need to have that right environmental and lighting situation, and working in a sound studio works out perfect. So, yeah, that. Other than that, though, like I said, we haven't had a sound studio maze since AVP, which is back in 2015. So,
jeez, yeah, I love the sound studios.
Yeah,
or the sound stage. Yeah, I'm gonna throw something out there, something that I've always wanted to go to your event just because I want to see what it's like. But one thing that I heard that kind of I was like, I don't know, I enjoy this part of Orlando, is the fact that you guys have a dry event.
We have a dry event. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys are alcohol friendly over there?
Hell yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the dry event over here in Hollywood, because we have a lot of people who will probably take it a little too far, maybe. And so I think they keep it dry on purpose, especially when you're in the land of the weird in Hollywood, as we call it. At least as I call it, because you see a lot of interesting people over there. Yeah. You're going to have enforce the dry event rules. One event that I was pretty surprised that is not a dry event is Dark Harbor, Queen Mary. Now, when they were announcing everything on the panel, they were saying in between each maze, like in the middle of each maze, there's a bar. There was like bars everywhere in between each maze. I was like, how many bars do you guys have on this cruise ship, man? But the theming for the bars looked really cool and stuff like that. But that's the thing about that Hollywood that Orlando gets to do is they get to, you know, have fun with the drinking and stuff like that. I don't know if they have a limit on the drinks, and I think the reason why they don't do it out here is because they're afraid if people get too drunk, they're going to start fighting with the scare actors. But since you guys allow drinking over there, does that double up on security?
We got a good amount of security, but they do a pretty good job of hiding in the shadows. I don't notice them too much. I mean, I've gone with friends and the whole entire group is doing like shots and whatnot, and we're going around and like, it plays into the theme as well because they have like these nurses that are all like bloody and like they look like they're dying and they're walking around with like IV stands, but it has a bunch of like blood pouches and it's actually Jello shots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you get the pouch and you just squeeze it. It looks nasty because it's an IV pouch and it looks like it has blood in it, but it's a Jello shot.
So that's funny.
On top of that, they got it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well,
so on top of that.
Oh no! Go ahead. You're good.
On top of that, they have a bunch of like themed drinks for that year that they make. So like you'll be able to drink like let's say for example if they have Freddy, you'll get like a Freddy driver or
Oh,
something, and like
nice.
have cool drinks like that.
That's awesome. Themed drinks, that's always makes the event a lot better. Get you more pumped up for the stuff and everything, and I like that. One of the things we do have here, it's not an alcoholic drink, but the league have said it's a very good drink, is they're literally Jello shots. So they're like Jello flavored, like different flavor of Jellos, but they're in like legit like kind of needles. So like you push it down and like it comes out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
The next, I think the recent video, you'll see it in the league's background, but on their background in one of their shelves, you see the little needles. They're like brown and they say Halloween Horror Nights on them. They're like right in the front. The next time you watch the league video or a league video, if they still have them up, pay attention to the background. You'll see the little shots that they provide. Those are really cool.
yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. I would say a con. I can't really think of any cons though, because I mean your guys' event is really cool. From what I've seen on the internet, I would say the con would probably be the lack of makeup that they have available to them compared to over here.
Yeah.
And an example being when I watched the Shiny Maze last year, it looks like
Yeah.
I didn't like the way they did Jack. They just had a top for his head, and that was
Yeah,
it.
the bald caps were hilarious.
Yeah.
But I was able to see past that.
But other than that, like I don't know, I don't really have a lot of cons. I mean, just makeup wise, but even then, like that was just one maze compared to everything else that I've seen. Like I don't really have any really complaints for the event. Like I have a shitload for our event though that I can
Hit me with one.
con off, but you know, I would say a con for our event is that we've never gotten an icon, and a lot of people over here want icons. I know I keep bringing that up, but
Yeah. Well, what I'll say, a similar con is like the era of the icon has kind of like died off too, which me as an original fan really enjoyed
yeah.
the icons, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be coming back anytime soon.
Did they do it last year? Was it last year they did the girl, the clown?
Chance was 26, I believe. I think, or was she 27? Because it's 28 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chance was 26 last year. Last year's icon. See, you put me on the spot and you make me look like a scrub, man.
No, I think it was either last year or the year before. It was Chance, because I remember that was a big thing. Like, oh, Jack's girlfriend's taking over this year, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
I think as far as icons go, though, because they have the 4 or 5 ones that are very popular with the Horror Nights audience, they figure if they keep bringing them back every year that they're going to get played out and people are going to get done with them. I think they'll wait a couple, like every other year or every 3 years to bring them back. That way people are never tired of them. And when they do come back, a lot of people get hyped up for them.
Yeah, they bring them back like anniversary years. Like Jack only makes his appearances now when it's an anniversary. But I mean, you could go off of like completely just unique icons. There was years like when the Caretaker came out on the 13th year. I mean, his whole entire like backstory building was amazing. His commercial that was so centric to him as a character was amazing. It actually was like the city of Orlando was actually looking to ban the commercial
Oh, wow.
because it was like so terrifying.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how good it was.
That's awesome.
That's how good it was. Yeah, and we haven't had.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, the world's too PC now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't even know about that. One of my favorite Orlando commercials that they did in the past was when they first, I think it was like in 2009, maybe 2008, when they first. It was one of the first years they did Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, and Jack the Clown is the fortune teller, and then the guy walks in. So what's my future? And then he comes out. And he goes, "You don't have one." And then Jason, Leatherface, Freddy, they all come out and they kill it. That's my all-time favorite commercial from Orlando, and I get goosebumps every time I watch that. Sometimes I'll go back to watch past stuff and stuff like that.
I think that was 16 and I missed it.
16, man, that seemed like it was a good year. It was like they were like their Sweet 16 or something like that. I think
Yeah.
that's how they were celebrating it. So that was a pretty good year. So to end the video, all in all though, out of 10, what would you rate your event from the past years you've gone?
out of 10 events, or you're saying 1 out of 10 in
1 out
general?
of 10, just a rating system. As the past years you've gone up until last year, what would you rate it?
Um, that's a tough one to put me at because I want to be unbiased, but
Yeah.
I would say 10 just because it's become, to me, it's not just the event, it's also now it's like an annual thing that I do with a group of friends. The past 4 years I've been going with like specific people. Um, but in general, the events probably dropped down to like an 8, but I still have a great time because it's not just where I'm going, it's who I'm going with.
Yeah. I think I'd be about a 7 out of 10. And it's not because, I mean, every year I watch videos. And I'm not going to lie, I think I only went 1 year where I went twice. But every other year I've only ever gone once, and that was sometimes usually good for me. Since this year I'm more active with the YouTube world and stuff like that. I think I'm going to go a couple times, meet up with the league hopefully. Maybe SoCal Exploring and maybe Awkward Arctic. But I just want to say because apparently some mazes they're hit or miss, and so I some mazes I like, some mazes I'm just like could have been better. But like I always have fun though, regardless if the maze was not all right or not. Regardless, every year me and my cousin we go down there and we have such a good time. This year there's a lot of plans with meeting up with people and stuff like that, so that's going to be really fun. But I have to say overall 7 out of 10 would be the right amount. But like I said, I always have a good time. I'm never ungrateful about the events every year. I hear a lot of people on YouTube get mad about specifically last year event. The majority of complaints I heard was the mazes had too much black walls. And
Yeah.
see, I'm not one to really complain about that though, because there was some stuff where I was like, okay, you could have easily put like a scene here or have someone pop out, but at the same time, I get it. Like budgets, they come and go. You put all your money onto one thing, and then you can only do so much with another thing. And I understand where they're coming from financially, because I think of it as my own thing. It's like, okay, I get paid once a month, and this is my budget for the month. It's like I see where, as far as budgets go, I can relate to that. So, all in all, though, I always have a good time, and I'm looking forward to this year, especially since I'm more involved into the YouTube world for horror. I know a lot of people now, and that's really fun. That's always good to have connections and friends to meet up there. So that's going to be pretty fun. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this year, and I cannot wait. So should be pretty good.
Same here. This year's going to be ridiculous. I mean, just like any other year. I've already got my hotel booked, so I'm actually there opening weekend for Orlando. I'll be attending the media event, but I don't think I'll be able to film. But I'll be seeing the media event, seeing everything unfold, as well as getting like a private tour the first night. And then the second night, I'm going back with my girlfriend to enjoy it as just a civilian.
Are you doing front of the line or no?
Oh, hell yeah. The speed pass, there's no way. Like I don't know about you guys. That would be one thing. Just to take a step back, that's a definite con for our event. I don't know about you guys, but our lines are like 2 hours without speed pass.
No, yeah, ours is about 3. I've seen it get up to 4 at one point when The Exorcist came, but that's the most I've ever seen it, and that's just too insane for me. So opening weekend, every time I go every year, I always get front of the line, and then I'll get the frequent fair pass where, like, when I go with hopefully if I go with the league, I don't mind waiting lines, because I already went through all those mazes once, and I already know what to expect, so at that point it's just hanging out with people, so.
Yeah, but those lines, like, zagging become intolerable.
Yeah,
and my
it's cancerous.
Back filming. I remember the first couple years I went, I didn't get a speed pass, and then when I finally got a speed pass, I was like, why didn't I do it this way to start with?
That was when I went with my dad too. We wanted to do front of the line for once to try it out, and we ended up trying it out, and we are so glad we tried it out, because honestly, that was the best investment we ever did. And
yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah. And before that, I never got to experience all the houses. I would only experience 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And not with the speed pass, I get all of them done the same night.
Last year, me and George, we did it in I'd say we went opening night. We were done with everything by midnight. And so we were just like, yeah, let's go home. We get home early, beat traffic, and it worked out perfect for us because we got there. We did early entry just to do it. I think we went in like 2 or 3 mazes twice, so that was cool. But just the fact that we got everything done by midnight. We went home, grabbed some grub, and we chilled the rest of the night. So that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that.
Backtrack on pros and cons there.
So, with that being said, very much looking forward to the event this year. Hopefully one day, I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna try to plan it for next year. That you see an actual video where me and Eddie Tainment are breathing the same air at the same park. Everything, man, because I want to make that a reality. I'm gonna try to get down there next year for sure because we're planning to go down there regardless. And I talked to my dad into moving into October just so I can experience Horror Nights. So be on the lookout, guys, because content is coming in hot between me and Eddie Tainment. Horror Night season is right around the corner. Got a lot of stuff getting announced probably in the next couple of weeks. Should be fun. But with that being said, guys, I'm Anthony from the Knights of Horror. That's who I am. That's my boy.
My name's Eddie from Eddie-tainment.
And Eddie, what is your infamous catch line at the end of each video that you say that is phenomenal?
And don't forget to ask yourself, have you been Eddie-tained?
You heard it from him, folks. Have you been Eddie-tained? I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A, West Coast, East Coast talk. Hopefully do more of these pretty soon, and we will see you guys on the next one. Later.